took up their duties under more difficult circumstances, and none were so consistently criticized and none so vulnerable to criticism.
Welcome to Mary Todd Lincoln, an intimate portrait. My name is Gay Storm. I'm an actress and founder of hatboxwilltravel.com. As an historic impressionist, it has been my honor to come to know Mrs. Lincoln not only as an iconic First Lady, but also as a controversial and complicated woman of her day. History has maligned her as crazy, but consider this. Mrs. Lincoln suffered from chronic migraines ever since she was a child and had been prescribed a lifetime of opiates. 3 of her 4 children died young, and her husband was assassinated while she was holding his hand at the theater. At the time of her death, at the age of 64, she was estranged from her only surviving son due to his shocking betrayal and was living in a room in her sister's house. Mary was unpredictable in her behavior and somewhat disliked in politics, but she was a survivor. And so I'm thrilled to be able to bring her to you today. May I present the colorful, the charming, and the curiously bedeviled Mary Todd Lincoln.
I know I'm being followed. For weeks now I have been certain of it. Is Vice President Johnson plotting to kill me as he killed my husband? Drunkard? Assassin? I never liked him. Nor was I impressed with the rambling, inebriated speech he gave at his swearing-in ceremony, a performance Mr. Lincoln ascribed to illness, treated with a tankard of brandy, I should say. What should I do? What should I do? I should write a letter to my dear friend Sally Orne, whose very important husband and very wealthy is a major contributor to the Republican Party. My dear Mrs. Orne, I neglected. My own intense misery has been augmented by that same thought that inebriate Johnson had cognizance of my husband's death. Why was that card of booths in his belongings? I have been deeply impressed with the harrowing thought that he had an understanding with the conspirators, and that they know their man. Did not Booth say there was one thing he would not tell? No one ever heard of Johnson regretting my sainted husband's death. Never wrote me a line of condolence. Behaved in the most strange way. As sure as you and I live, Johnson had something to do with this. I remain, with assurance of regard, your friend, Mary Lincoln. I never knew at what point the president's body was returned to the White House. But I could hear the pounding of the rain against the windows and the hammering of the nails building the platform that would hold the coffin. The voices and footsteps of 1,000 people, and the mournful tolling of the church bells. I never saw the East Room draped in black with crepe wrapped around the columns and chandeliers. He was there for 3 days. And then he was moved to the Capitol building, the Great Rotunda, where thousands of visitors paid their respects. Mrs. Lincoln did not make an appearance. No, I did not. Nor did I accompany his body on the funeral train that bore him back to Illinois. None took up their duties under more difficult circumstances, and none were so consistently criticized, and none so vulnerable to criticism. Some say my effort to make a good impression and serve my husband were hampered from the beginning by a impertinent nature, a loose tongue, and a mind filled with quirks and delusions. Quirks and delusions. I suffer from hysterical bladder and frequent urination, but there is no history of drunkenness in my family, not in the family of a well-bred Kentucky lady, I can tell you that.